Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. This article sure as hell got my attention. Take a look at this. Ethereum and XRP gearing up for major rally with higher lows against Bitcoin, says crypto analyst Nicholas Merten. And almost 100% of this piece, even though Ethereum cited here, it's almost entirely about XRP, and that's all I'd want to talk about really anyway. It's really fascinating concepts here, so I'm going to be digging into that. And I've also got a piece I'm going to cover after that from Daily Hodl titled Crypto Insider, Bitcoin Will Rally With or Without Wall Street Institutions on Board. So I'll get into that last. But I'm telling you here, Nicholas Mertens, he says that there is a massive breakout coming. That's a quote from chart analyst Nicholas Mertens. So before we get rolling here, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambeau channel. I'm very thankful for all the support. You guys are awesome. So let's go ahead and just dig right into this here. One of YouTube's most popular crypto analysts says he thinks the two biggest altcoins by market cap are setting up for a major rally. And actually, let me go ahead and preface this just a little bit first. So I like this guy. Here he is on Twitter, Nicholas Merten. He seems like a real sharp, agreeable type of person, nice guy, I think. That's how he comes off to me. And I used to follow him regularly on YouTube when I first entered crypto. Now, interestingly, he is not. He does not like Ripple and XRP specifically, and he doesn't trash the project though. So it's okay. It's one of those things where I think he's wrong, and he would think that I'm wrong. He doesn't know who I am, but I'm just saying he would think that I'm wrong. And he's once cited before in a video that he's against XRP for fundamental reasons, which really just tells me perhaps he needs to research it more. But he's one of those guys that's really not a big fan of banks, so he's just coming from a completely different mindset. Nonetheless, I like diversity of thought. It's okay for two adults to be polite to each other and just disagree. So I think that's pretty much all it is. It's the same kind of a stance I have against about somebody like Anthony Pompliano. Same type of thing here. Nonetheless, he has the biggest cryptocurrency YouTube channel on YouTube. I do mean that literally. That's what I had read, unless it has changed since then. I last read that like a year ago, but it's massive. He has 323,000 subscribers on here and something like 21 million views. Something crazy like that. And the video, which is referenced in the article I'm about to share with you, this is the one that I'm circling right here. 14,000 views posted about 12 hours ago. So I wanted you to know who he is. So when he's talking about massive XRP breakout here, he doesn't even like XRP, and he still believes this is going. So I think he's being intellectually honest. So just want to make sure you guys have a little bit of background on this guy. So on a new episode of Data Dash, Nicholas Merten points to a series of higher lows that XRP has posted against Bitcoin since early 2017. He says the higher lows indicate the digital asset is slowly building strength and support for a big breakout. And here's a quote. So this to me is extremely significant. Support lines like that take into account major bottoms in a given asset, especially in crypto, after having these parabolic run-ups afterwards, really gets me excited. And we've got the multi-week momentum that we saw back here in March. Then says, although he sees a massive breakout coming, Merten says he thinks it may take a while longer for it to materialize. And here's a quote. I'm not so certain we're going to have a breakout just yet. A lot of people are jumping the gun on it. What I want to see is a close or breakout on good volume across some of the major exchanges like Binance, etc., over this relative point of resistance in July of 2019. We know that XRP, taking a look back, is a momentum play. And that really happened both times when we get the weekly breakout above multiple weeks of sell-side action. Again, in different ways and shapes and forms, you're going to see a massive breakout. So, and then he says, I think we're repeating history because back here in March of 2017, this is when we got the first altcoin cycle for 2017. And that's what we're doing for the next cycle here. We're getting our first cycle. We're not already in the thick of a bull run overall. We haven't gotten above the previous Bitcoin highs. Altcoins are still in pretty bloody territory, so we're really looking for a potential value shot here in the market. And true enough, and one of the things that Nicholas has cited accurately, even though he's not a fan of XRP, had cited in the past in one of his videos back in like 2017, he was talking about how XRP is kind of like a long-term play especially if you're a trader, because he calls himself I've heard him call himself a macro trader. So like he's not into the nitty-gritty from day to day, but he likes to hold and then just make when there's big swings one way or another, then he'll buy or sell accordingly. But he was citing something that I know absolutely to be true, which is that XRP trades within a narrow band of volatility for long periods of time. So it appears to be uncorrelated to Bitcoin for certain periods of time. It can even feel like that for about half a year or whatever, which kind of happened in 2017. And we're pretty much stayed flat. And then it had the huge parabolic run-up. So it's just a matter of fact. You don't have to be a chart analyst to realize this. You can look at a chart, any idiot can, and just see this is the way in which XRP behaves, which I find fascinating. It's one of the reasons that I always say that XRP is the least correlated to Bitcoin in terms of price action out of all of the top 10 cryptocurrencies. That's what I firmly believe. Anyway, Merten says he believes a similar scenario is playing out with Ethereum after its big crash in January of last year. And so here's a quote from him. "I'm seeing something very similar to XRP. Ethereum, like most altcoins, goes through very severe corrections because they're still highly speculative. They're low market cap assets, and Bitcoin alone is really volatile." And so, what you have here is a near a 90% correction in Ethereum since January of 2018. And what we're seeing here is a very similar trend to what we saw back in 2017, where there seems to be a general resistance mark with the previous resistance area back in July 2019, similar to what we saw with XRP. And so that's what he thinks. He thinks it's coming, and I have maintained, even though I don't make price predictions, I'm not going to pretend like I know when there's going to be the next crypto or XRP bull run. I don't. I respect those that are willing to put their necks on the line and those that are actually chart analysts. And he is certainly a noteworthy chart analyst here, and he does believe it's coming. But from my perspective, it seems like it's a matter of time. So he's confirming what I just believed to be true, because I'm just looking at fundamentals and how humans are behaving, and I've cited on the channel in the past that there's still a frenzy around cryptocurrencies because people just haven't figured it out, and there's no good indication to me that people are going to stop behaving the way that they've been behaving. So I don't think that we've seen the last of certain altcoins running, having parabolic run-ups, I think XRP included. People just don't know what the hell they're doing. So to me, fundamentally, it doesn't make sense they stop. And he's saying, after looking at the charts, he thinks that eventually there will be a massive breakout, which makes a ton of sense. So for me, fundamentals tell me this is how humans are still behaving. And from his perspective, he's looking at charts and essentially saying the same thing. Massive breakout coming. He won't say when. That's fine. But presumably not too far into the future. But who knows? You can take that for what's worth. That's one man's opinion right there. But I like hearing what he has to say on these topics now. But things happen quick. And so look, here's where we're at right now as an asset class. I'm on Live Coin Watch. So 220 billion. You got Bitcoin. That's the market cap for the asset class. Bitcoin at 8,245. XRP at just over 25 cents. But I tell you, if you look at the chart, let's look at the all-time high. Look at this. Look at this massive, beautiful spike. That's when it got all the way up to, $3.92, I think is the all-time high. But look at all the years prior to 2017. I know you can't tell because the chart zoomed out, but there was extreme volatility in what appears to be rather flat price action here. I mean, you're talking about there was at multiple occasions where there was XRP gaining in value like a 12 times gain and then going back down to about where it was. And so what I'd like to say, what I believe, because I do believe that certain cryptocurrencies that'll be here to stay will have market caps, there's individual coins into the trillions. This massive spike we're looking at right here, this is not financial advice, but I'm just telling you what my everyday Joe Schmo type opinion is. This right here, this massive spike, is going to look like this little baby blip down here one day. That's what I think. That's what I think is coming. As for timeline, I don't know. I don't make price predictions. I don't put timestamps on it. But in terms of potentially where we could go, I'm happy to have discussions about that. So I'm just not going to pretend like I'm some crypto wizard and I know what the price is going to be tomorrow or next week or a year from now, because I have no idea. But I'm happy, again, I think it makes for fun content for videos, and always happy to share other people's opinions, especially if they're able to, if they're willing to take a risk by putting out a price prediction. Anyway, and check out this piece. Crypto Insider. Bitcoin will rally with or without Wall Street institutions on board. All right, let's dig into this. The CEO of crypto venture capital Crypto Oracle says Bitcoin doesn't need institutions to take flight. In a new interview on CNBC's Power Lunch, Lou Kerner says he thinks institutions will eventually join the crypto movement en masse, but they will follow the pack instead of lead the way. So here's a quote. I've always thought Bitcoin is not about institutions. Actually, it's the antithesis of institutions. And these kinds of revolutions, whether it's even going back to e-commerce on the internet, it wasn't for 5 years after Amazon launched that Walmart launched online stores. So we don't need institutions to come to this party for Bitcoin to break out again. People have been saying Bitcoin needs institutions for a long time. We've had a lot of legs higher without any institutional involvement. It's coming, it's like gravity, they're going to be here, but they're not going to lead the party, they're going to be followers. Which is an interesting perspective. What seems to be the common wisdom, indeed, is that the next bull run is going to be run by institutional investors. I've talked about that concept on this channel, and I don't know one way or another. Nobody does for sure. But I will say this, if institutions indeed are not going to be getting involved en masse anytime soon, I still believe even just retailer speculating, that is enough for crypto to have another massive run at some point. Don't know when, but that's because crypto isn't going away with or without institutional involvement. Crypto still isn't going away. That is crystal clear. It's been around over a decade. It's actually getting used. It's not going away, period. Anyway, Kerner says Bitcoin's trademark volatility is partly due to the amount of leverage that derivatives exchanges like BitMEX are offering. But in order for Bitcoin to rise to $100,000 or more, he says traders should expect extreme highs and lows. And here's another quote. One of the things that exacerbates it is all the leverage that you have in crypto. BitMEX allowing people to get 100-to-1 leverage means people are getting stopped out every few ticks. So that definitely compounds the effect of any downdraft. If Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 or $1 million in 5 or 10 or 20 years, then all the up and downs that we're seeing today is just noise. From his perspective, Kerner says the crypto industry at large continues to grow and attract big-name talent, with BTC establishing its main use case as a digital store of value. I hate that argument, but anyway, here's another quote. To me, the most exciting thing is just the brilliant people who are leaving jobs at Goldman Sachs or McKinsey or other amazing places that come and do this because they're seeing the crypto light. They're seeing a better world, and they're seeing a better way of doing capitalism. I think you've got to have a thesis as an investor. I actually do believe the analogy that it's digital gold. I think it's digital gold on the way up, and it's digital gold on the way down. Obviously, people believe that more and less during different times, but I think over the long haul, that's going to be the play. So that's what he has to say. But I still must insist that without utility, no cryptocurrency will have staying power. That's my entire investment thesis. So if there can be if there's any amount of utility, any real adoption that Bitcoin can attain, then the idea that it can be the store of value perpetually, just indefinitely, then I'd buy into it. Show me that though, because is it a fraction of a percent of the time that Bitcoin's getting used as money? That was supposed to be the primary use case, right? Is that really enough? Is it? I don't know about that. I'm just saying I'm highly skeptical. So not like I don't technically know for sure, of course not, but highly skeptical of the concept of its ability to have staying power as a store of value. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!